Well, hello there everybody and welcome back to Dwarf Fortress. It's been a little while just because of the holidays and that always ends terribly. Not really terribly, it's always weird. For example, I don't eat candy. I went away to go visit some family. I come back, my desk is utterly covered in broken up pieces of little chocolate and I don't even know what this is. It's like a broken up Santa Claus thing. I don't care. I pretty much just sweep that all into a bag, except that, because it looks kind of neat. I like Santa Claus. Anyway, I like his beard. Me and him get along. Anyway, in between this and the last episode, we were talking about the Illithid guy, and the fact that he blew everything the fuck up. And that pause wasn't because I actually paused the video and went to go look up what had happened. It was because I, honest to God, didn't know what was going on, and I was thinking in my head what had happened. And instead of pausing and looking up what had happened in the last video, like I probably should have done, I went full retard and just decided, whatever. Anyway, in between this and the last episode, let's go back into the game, F4. As you can see here, this is our lever room. It's also the bedrooms, but I mostly just go here for the levers. There's our few more levers. Now let's go to W for Barrows, and you can see that blue flashing thing, let's zoom in a little bit, that blue flashing one is for the first cavern floor, second, third, that's for the west wall, east wall, now that's for the north wall gate, which is what lets them in, the Cougar military gate, and the hallway / magma drop I'm going to have to explain in a minute. Now, the Cougar military gate is something we talked about before. It's something that we needed to really get we needed to get incorporated. God damn it! It is literally 7 in the morning. I've just woke up. You'll have to excuse me. I'm still getting back to things. Blah, blah. Anyway, we got that. I got that incorporated. I'll show this off in a second. I just want to show that I've got these. I had to get them named because I couldn't find them otherwise. They're named now. The Cougar military gate. That's where we're going to open and close so that the Cougars and military go in to fight whatever we let into that room. And we needed that because what we were fighting wasn't really going over the traps. Like the Cougars and military guys would just rush at them and it would make half the traps useless. And the hallway magma drop is a failsafe I incorporated because fuck the world if it can't be solved by magma. At least we'll have military to back it up. So it's a failsafe for a failsafe, but we have a failsafe in case that one fails. Anyway, so there we go. We got that set up. Now the next thing is, let's go up here, and you can see, we got this room. Now you can see that I made a little room right there where the little yellow X is. That's where we're going to have the military people. They're going to go up that little hallway. They're all going to sit in there. They're going to be nice and quiet, and they're not going to be retarded, and they're going to sit there. So that's what they're going to do. Now, I got the Cougar room down there that we already kind of did a little bit with before. That'll open and close. I'll open it when I feel like we need to. I did replace the catapults with ballistae, and I did get quite a number of wooden ballista bolts made. Not really gonna incorporate those yet. I find that they're still really inaccurate. I mean, they just fling every which way, and they're not as useful for long hallway corridors, which I was kind of hoping for, which is kind of shitty. They're more for open, like, right in front of your fucking fort kind of deals, but, whatever. I'll find some way. That or maybe a bigger, wider. They're for more wider open areas. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so we got that set up. I did get some stonefall traps made. Now this is just. I'm thinking about just removing them anyway. I don't know why I made them. I think I just thought that we needed something there, and I hadn't made any of these, so I just threw a bunch of them out there, and who knows. And then we have these bridges. Now these are all bridges, and that hallway there is something I needed when I was making this, so that's what that comes from. I needed that to actually make those because there's nothing below it, and below it there is magma. Slowly filling up. Actually only very recently made this since the last video. And we got that made, and so that'll fill up with lava, and if anything goes wrong or I think something is coming through that I do not think we can handle, I will just pull the lever and drop everything into the magma. That's the way I plan to just say, fuck the world, it's going down. So, that's our way to get through that. Plus, there's nothing left to catch in that. Yeah, okay, gotcha, good. And I find that would be a good failsafe too, in case, like, I don't know. I think it's a good idea to have, and that's all there really is to it. Plus, there's no reason not to have it. I mean, I really don't think it's wise to fight that Alithia, whatever the fuck he was, Cthulhu. I know he's Cthulhu. I call all the Alithians Cthulhus because, I mean, they're just tentacle-headed monsters. They really are. And they look like Cthulhu, and that's what Cthulhu is based off of, and that's what they're... whatever, you know what I mean. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be trying to do today. The military, they're doing fine. How are we doing on all this stuff? Drinks went down a little bit. We were up to 2,000 at one point. The brewers kind of go on and off. They're a little weird, but meat, fish, plants, all doing fine. Drink fine, others fine. We're pretty much set on food. The only thing that we ever really seem to have an issue with is drink, but you know, whatever. Now then, now that we've got that done, and we can pretty much fight stuff whenever we want, I'm going to be letting that fill up with magma, and while we do that, I want to go into something else that I want to do. I know, it's just, I'm just all over the board today, aren't I? Also, you can see this crossbow bolt, or the ballista bolts, everywhere. It's probably... that's cluttered. That's cluttered too. You can stop making those now, guy. Sorry about that. Forgot I had him set on making those. Now then, the next thing that okay. Yeah, I don't have a list or anything that I go through when I do these, so you have to excuse me. Okay, I did the levers, did the military thing. Okay, so the next thing is, I was talking about some of the extra stuff that you can make in Genesis that you don't have in the standard game. One of the things that we were looking at the other day was workshops. It is like a rockball court, or yeah, a gate ball field, and that's what that fucking eyesore there in the middle is. And I was thinking, you know, this is a gate ball field, and it's even worse when it's flashing. Holy shit. Okay, anyway, so that's a gate ball field. You can add a new task, and there's nothing. Alright, now this is a bunch of the stuff that you could add from that workshops menu. I'm not 100% sure on what it is. I just had it built. I haven't gone through them yet. Besides the gay ball field one, because I was looking at that like, man, that looks cool. I'm gonna have them kicking shit around. And Philosopher's Garden, you can have them meditate and debate with yourself. That seems to be like, you know, all the dwarves have like communication skills, liar, stuff like that. This is probably where they would go to increase skills like that. And then we've got the anatomical theater, which you can train wound dressing, suturing, bone setting, and surgery. Very nice. I like that. I like that a lot. An alchemical workshop. You can transmute cobalt into iron, transmute copper into gold, transmute gold into copper, and lead into tin. You can also create artificial rubies, artificial star rubies, aluminum into mithril, billion into tin, brass into tin, gold into sun gold, silver into moon silver, and zinc into tin. Now, this is all stuff that we did see, I'm pretty sure, in the last or one of the previous ones on the actual Genesis website. I kind of looked at it, but I didn't understand it. I didn't know what I had to do. Seems pretty straightforward, not too worried about it. And then we have an altar of nature, where we can sacrifice remains and sacrifice ashes. And if I remember right, you can sacrifice remains of your enemies to get law. Or I think it's sacrifice the remains of your enemies to get food, and ashes to get logs. Not 100% sure on that, don't quote me on it, but probably not going to be doing too much with that. And then we have an altar of war, where you can sacrifice an iron, steel, or copper weapon. We'll try that out eventually. We don't have any of those, by the way, which is hilarious. Now, a scriptorium. You can write tomes at this, and apparently we need vellum. Alright, there we go. And this is the Rockball core. We'll just have them play Rockball. These are some potted plants. They look nice. They look nice. Yeah, you play Rockball. And then another scriptorium because I thought it looked cool. So, that's all the new stuff from Genesis. There's probably a lot of stuff I'm missing. Probably not a lot. A few things I'm missing, but don't hold it against me. Now, like I was saying before, it is unpaused, by the way. One of the things that I am wanting to do is I want to start fighting, but I also really want to get into the metal thing. And we've been talking about that a lot, and I keep saying that, but it's not as easy as I make it out to be. Also, why is there a stone here? Whatever. Alright, now this is the bars and blancs stockpile. We've got actually quite a few bars in here, so considering the considering we can make weapons and sacrifice it to the altar, I think that's what we're going to start getting into. I'm going to set down here at the magma forge to make weapons. Pretty much to make weapons. Now we do have a finishing forge, and we do have the crucible, which you can use to make red steel bars. I cannot remember what the reaction requires, but we can do it, so we might as fucking well. And you can't sacrifice red steel, which is fantastic. Fantastic! Now we can melt metal objects. I'll set that on repeat. I don't know. Usually it has those grayed out unless you have stuff set to be melted, but you never know. So we're going to go with weapons and ammunition, and we're going to go with copper, if I can find it. This is a fairly long list of bullshit. Copper! Now, one of the things that we do really need is we need swords. And instead of copper, let's actually go with let's go with red steel. When it comes to swords, I figured steel is going to be the best. I'm pretty sure copper is heavier than steel. Red steel being a lighter but sharper, when copper being a heavier, blunter thing. And normally you use silver for maces and, you know, smashy weapons, but don't exactly have that luxury here. Also, where the hell are swords? 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 Short sword? Really? We can only make short swords? What about long swords and a dragon long sword and maybe a dragon two-hand sword? I don't know. Fucking, really, that's it? We'll just, okay, go with the short sword. And then we'll go over here, add a new task, a weapon, down to copper, and then we're gonna make some hammers. Because why the fuck not? I don't know if we should go with... Okay, so we can make either war hammers, or... No, that's really the only weapon like that we can make. Okay, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to let him do that. Oh, man. Oh. That's my neck, by the way, in case anybody was wondering. I like doing that. It always feels good. Even though I've been told 100 times over that I'm going to break my neck, I'm going to remove these. They're just a fucking eyesore. It probably would be pretty useful, and I'm sorry if anybody doesn't like me removing them, but I'm removing them. I just can't stand them. They look terrible. They're not in any design or anything. Anyway, now then, when it comes to metal, we don't have much. So, that kind of sucks. Also, is that guy taking that rock? Is that guy really bringing a rock down? Oh, apparently you need a rock for Rockball. That sounds awful. Although it probably does train some skill somewhere. I mean, destroy building. Huh? Novice pacifier. I don't even know. I don't know what skill. I don't know what skill it could possibly be training. All right. And now, as I said, we are already getting pretty low on metal. And I think the best way that we're going to ever get any of that is by fighting stuff up here. Now, these guys are not carrying anything, and I'm hoping that we do have access to the Dusk Elf and Serpent Folk people, and I hope that if we can clear out the Alithids and the Beastmen enough that the Serpent Folk and the Dusk Elves will come back, because we were having relations with them. And I don't mean relations as in the sexy kind of relations, but I mean the kind that you actually get some sort of benefit from. And they just kind of disappeared after a while. I don't know if it's because we killed them and they're like, you know, let's not go to war. Let's just leave them the fuck alone. But I mean, you never know with them. So hopefully, if we can clear out enough of these guys, we'll actually be